Mark Cuban is an American billionaire, investor and entrepreneur who is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks of the NBA and is one of the main investors in the popular TV series Shark Tank. So it's fair to say he knows a thing or two about becoming rich. In this video, I'll be discussing Mark Cuban's 9 rules on getting rich from his interview with Vanity Fair. I will react to each of the 9 steps and give my own comments on how you can apply this to your own personal finance strategy. The great thing about the rules that he provides is that they are quite simple and anyone can implement them. So if that sounds good to you, let's roll the intro. What is going on, my people? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brian and I love talking about investing and personal finance. My motto is, if it can make us money, then I'm going to talk about it. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And be sure to follow me on Instagram using the link in the description. Now let's see what our friend Mark Cuban had to say in his interview.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban and I'm about to give you some advice on how to be just a little bit richer than you are today. How do you get rich? Rich is all relative, so there's certain things you need to do in order to put yourself in the best position to be rich. The first thing you need to do is live like a student. When you get that first job, it's really cool. I remember looking at cars and thinking, I want this car. Fortunately, I kept my junker.
Okay, so what Mark is saying here is to save your money like you're a broke student again. We all remember when we were students and didn't have a lot of money. When you get your first job, don't blow all your money on superficial expensive items like sports cars. Just buy a cheap second-hand Toyota Corolla. It is not the most fancy car, but the engine will start every time and you'll still be able to get from A to B. Same goes for if you get a promotion at work. Do not give in to lifestyle creep where increased income leads to increased discretionary spending. It may be tempting to spend that extra money on the finer things in life, but saving that extra money and maintaining your current lifestyle is a more sensible way to create long-term wealth.
Number 2, you shouldn't use credit cards. I remember bill collectors calling me every 2 minutes. You're better off using a debit card when you need to just not use cash.
Okay, so that was a quick point. Mark is saying don't ever use a credit card. Now, I hate to go against the billionaire's advice, but I would somewhat disagree with Mark here. But I do agree credit cards aren't for everyone. If you have a problem with spending money and not sticking to a budget, then absolutely do not get a credit card. However, if you are a good responsible person and knows how to track their expenses and live within their means, then I would argue that there are many benefits of using credit cards over debit cards. I think a credit card is like a sharp kitchen knife. It can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. It depends on how you use it. If you treat a credit card like a debit card whereby anything you purchase you can afford to pay back right away, then it can be a great tool for you. There are many benefits that come with using a credit card. A lot of credit cards these days offer bonus reward points for signing up and meeting a particular minimum spend. Now, if you have a big purchase coming up and we're planning to spend the money anyway, why not apply for a credit card and use it to pay? You can then use the bonus points to redeem free flights or claim gift vouchers. The best example of this is to use your credit card to pay off expenses for a wedding and use the bonus points to go on your honeymoon for free. Again, I want to make it clear that the money you spend, you should be able to pay back straight away from your bank account. If you're using a credit card to borrow money for a wedding, then you're better off listening to Mark Cuban and avoiding them altogether. A lot of credit cards these days also give you free insurance such as travel insurance, which I would recommend always signing up for regardless if you are visiting a foreign country. A lot of hotels also require a credit card to check in, so it can come in handy when you travel. Also, banks are more likely to help you if there are fraudulent charges on your credit card regardless of how long it's been. On the other hand, by law, you must report fraudulent charges on your debit card within 60 days to be protected. It's a ridiculous rule. A credit card can also improve your credit score, which will help you secure a home loan in the future. Just make sure you never miss a payment because that will put a black mark on your credit history. What I like to do whenever I get a new credit card is to set up an automatic direct debit from my bank account to pay off the full closing balance for every billing cycle. This way I never forget to pay and I never pay a cent of interest. But please note to choose full closing balance and not the minimum balance. If you choose the minimum balance, you'll be hit with a very high interest rate. And that is why I say a credit card is like a knife. You need to know how to use it properly or you'll get cut. Okay, I think I went a bit long with credit cards there and should probably make a separate videos about credit card. The main point is I'm not trying to promote credit cards to everyone, but I just want to let you know that it can be a great tool if you use it properly.
Number 3 is save up 6 months income. If you don't like your job at some point, or you get fired, or you have to move, or something goes wrong, you're going to need at least 6 months income.
Okay, so what Mark is saying there is to save up for a 6 months emergency fund. Basically, the whole point of an emergency fund is to be able to financially cover you for 6 months if an unforeseen event happens to you, like you lose your job. An emergency fund should be exactly for what it's named, an emergency. Buying a new TV or going on a spontaneous trip unfortunately does not count as an emergency. Statistically, there are many people who don't have an emergency fund and live paycheck to paycheck, and they are one emergency away from being wiped out. A lot of people think it will never happen to them until it does, and it's too late. I don't want this to happen to you, so if you're one of those people, then please save up for an emergency fund.
Then what I would do is probably put it into the cheapest SPX, Standard & Poor's mutual fund that I could find.
Okay, so another quick one there. Mark is telling us to invest our money into simple S&P 500 index funds. An S&P 500 index fund tracks the top 500 companies in the US market. Think of it as a basket of many companies all combined into a single stock. This method is also recommended by another billionaire, Warren Buffett, who recommends most people to invest in S&P 500 index funds over trying to pick individuals. That is because, believe it or not, studies have shown that the S&P 500 averages a higher return in the long run over most professional active investors. Over the last 100 years, the S&P 500 has returned an average of 10% per year. Now, this does not mean you'll receive 10% every single year. Some years will be better than others. But over the long period of time, historically, you will average about 10% per year. If you want to invest in the S&P 500, then buying an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index will be the easiest way. In the US, ticker symbol VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, is one of the most popular choices. SPY or SPY is another one that you can look into. If you're in Australia like me and want to invest in the S&P 500, then check out IVV, which is the iShares S&P 500 ETF. However, I am not a financial advisor, so please do your own research before using your money to invest.
If you're a true adventurer and you really want to throw the Hail Mary, you might take 10% and put it in Bitcoin or Ethereum. But if you do that, you've got to pretend you've already lost your money. And it's like collecting art, it's like collecting baseball cards, it's like collecting shoes. You know, something's worth what somebody else will pay for it. It's a flyer, but I'd limit it to 10%.
Okay, so Mark Cuban is saying that it's okay to allocate 10% of your portfolio into high-risk investments, which can give you a massive gain, but you could lose all your money. I would definitely agree with Mark there, and there is a place for what I like to call a moonshot investment in your portfolio. If the investment goes to zero, then hey, it's only 10% and it won't cripple you financially. But if it works out, then you may reach financial freedom faster than the conservative route with index funds. I think it's worth the risk. Now, just because Mark said it's okay to allocate 10% into high risk, you should still be sensible and understand what you are investing in. Do not just invest into something because you heard someone talking about it. You need to do your own research and make a calculated decision based on risk versus reward. It's interesting that Mark Cuban suggested Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this interview was filmed on October 2017. If we look at the Bitcoin chart here, Bitcoin was sitting around 6,000 in 2017 and today it's at about 60,000. So it's done a 10x during that time, or 1,000% return if you like to look at it that way. If we look at the Ethereum chart, it was sitting at around $300 per coin in 2017, and today it's worth about $4,000. So that's a 13x return right there. So if you had listened to Mark back in 2017, then you would have some amazing gains from both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I guess that's why he's a billionaire.
It's so hard to make a return on regular investments that you're better off when you see a sale. So for instance, if hopefully we're all using toothpaste every day, right? A couple of times a day. And we're gonna go through toothpaste every month, whatever it may be. You're better off buying 2 years worth of toothpaste when it's on 50% discount. That's an immediate return on your money. Any of your reusables, consumables that you have to have, when they're on a huge sale on Amazon, buy them, because chances are their prices are going to go up. But that's a real savings that you get to put in your pocket.
Okay, so Mark is suggesting to buy everyday consumables in bulk when they are on massive discounts. This makes a lot of sense to me, and it's something that I personally do already. When non-perishable consumables go on sale like tissues, paper towels, toothpaste, and toilet paper, I always buy them in bulk. Not only that, but if you're out buying groceries and see popular long shelf items at half price like pasta, rice, cooking oil, canned foods, frozen foods, and any other food that you'll use anyway in the future, then snap them up. This will help save money even more if you have a big family to feed. If you are a struggling student or don't have much cash around, then you can find perfectly edible food in the marked down sections. You just can't be picky with what vegetables you want to have that week. You'll be eating whatever is marked down. Saving money when you can adds up over time, especially when it's during a sale for items that you'll use anyway and won't inconvenience you. When an opportunity like that presents itself, that's a gift that you should take with both hands. If you had listened to Mark's advice and stocked up on 2 years worth of toilet paper, then you would have been sitting pretty during the lockdowns in 2020 while watching other people fight over the last toilet roll.
Negotiate using cash. I tell people all the time, if you're out, you're going to take a yoga class and they want to charge you $30, say, look, I got 20. You know what? They're going to take it. Negotiating with cash is a far better way to get a return on your investment.
Okay, so Mark here is suggesting using cash to negotiate and bargain. I recently read an article on the art of negotiating, and it says there is something powerful about negotiating with physical cash. It's emotional and it's visual. It tells the seller that you are serious and this deal can be completed very quickly. So if you're ever out buying furniture or a second-hand car, you can try to use cash to let the seller know that you are serious and appeal to their emotional desire to complete a quick deal. If you ever have to buy a new TV, don't just walk in and buy it straight away. Ask one of the staff there what is the best price they can give you. More often than not, they can reduce the price and you'll walk away with a better deal than if you didn't ask. It's also important to research the price beforehand and see what other stores are offering. So keep these tips in mind the next time you are buying from a physical store.
I used to love to walk through bookstores when there were bookstores everywhere, and if there's something that caught my eye, and I thought it can give me one idea, to spend $30 to give one idea that could help propel me, make my businesses better, it was a bargain. The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need by Andrew Tobias used to get me all fired up. I'll read hours every day because all it takes is one little thing to propel you to the next level.
Okay, so Mark recommends to read more books to inspire you. This could help your business or investments. I've done a lot of studies on millionaire mindsets, and what I found is that a lot of rich people love to read. They are continuously learning and developing new ideas. And not just millionaires, but billionaires like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg spend many hours a day reading for the purpose of learning. If you're looking to learn about investing, I would recommend you read some finance books. One of my favorite books is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is the book that inspired me the most about investing. One of the great lessons I took from this book was to buy more assets and less liabilities. It's a simple concept, but at the time, it was a penny-dropping moment for me. Other finance books that I will recommend are One Up on Wall Street, The Richest Man in Babylon, and The Intelligent Investor. And if you're in Australia like me, The Barefoot Investor is a great book for beginners to learn about good financial habits.
Nice works. When you're nice to people around you, when you're caring, when you're empathetic, you're always going to get more results.
So with this final rule, Mark is telling us that no matter how busy we are trying to achieve what we want to achieve, it's always important to be nice to people. No one wants to do business with a jerk, right? At the end of the day, everyone is human and humans love to be shown care and empathy. I've read that Mark Cuban is one of the best NBA bosses out there because he really cares about the human side of the business rather than just concentrating on maximizing profits. He cares about the well-being of his players and employees and places the human element above everything else. And that is probably why he is as successful as he is today.
Running a company is not easy, it's hard. But the one thing that you can control in life is your effort. Work hard.
So with this closing statement, Mark is just reminding us to work hard above all things. So wrapping up, Mark Cuban teaches us in this interview his 9 rules for getting rich. Personally, I'm not sure following just these rules will make you rich, but it is a good start. If you can nail down these rules, then at the very least, you'll have a solid foundation and good financial habits to work from to create long-term wealth. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, so the video can reach more viewers and help the channel grow. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure to follow me on Instagram if you'd like more regular finance content. So until next time, my name is Brian and I hope you make a lot of money.